Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when this video is reaching you. I hope you're doing well and that everything is going good for you. Welcome to the Uplifting, a mini podcast that I decided to start, which is meant to just uplift us, just like its name. So, in this podcast, it is going to be a space where we tell real stories and we try to encourage each other. I am your host, I'm Tina, and I'm really glad that you are here. So today, I'm going to be reading a story that changed the way I view disappointment. Okay, so it is called The Lesson in the Delay. I'm just going to read the story to you. A few years ago, there was a young woman named Amara. She was full of dreams, hope, and a stubborn determination to make her life count. Like many of us, she had a plan. A carefully crafted timeline of how her life was supposed to unfold. College by 21, a job by 22, and by 25, well, she should be running the world. But life doesn't always follow our scripts. Amara applied for a scholarship she'd been working towards for years. It was prestigious, life-changing, and very, very important to her. She poured her soul into the application. Essays, recommendations, letters, interviews, everything. When the results came out, she opened the email with shaky hands and a hopeful heart. She didn't get it. The rejection stung. She cried. She questioned herself, and most of all, she questioned God. Why would you let me come this far just to say no? Weeks passed. Her friends got their dream jobs. Others posted glowing success stories on Instagram. And Amara, she felt stuck like a seed buried in the dark, waiting for the sun that would never rise. But here's where it gets interesting. 3 months later, she got an unexpected call. A smaller organization had read her essay. Someone had forwarded it to them. They were moved, not just by her credentials, but by her story. They offered a different opportunity, a fellowship in a rural area helping displaced children go back to school. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't come with a big check, but it came with purpose. Amara went. What was supposed to be a detour became her calling. She didn't just find a career, she found herself. That experience later opened doors to the United Nations, to speaking platforms, to policy work that mattered. The rejection she once cried over, it turned out to be a redirection. Such an interesting story. So, why am I reading this story to you today? I just want you to pause and reflect. Sometimes, what if the pause that you get, or the rejection that you get, the no that you get, or the visa delay that you get, what if it is a blessing in disguise? What if it was meant to protect you? Sometimes we may never know why we get the no. We may never know why things are delayed, but the Bible says delay is not denial. Maybe in the meantime, when you're experiencing the delay, God is preparing something big for you. And the story with Amara, I somehow fit in that shoe, because I remember back in 2021 when I was trying out to apply to schools in America. I tried my best, and although I didn't get rejection letter, but I got a lot of incomplete applications. Like, I would start up an application with this school, and then along the way something from somewhere would just cause me not to finish it, and then I'll just sit and they'll just tell me, you didn't finish your application in time, and the deadline closed and stuff like that. And all of that kept happening, and I kept questioning myself. I kept asking God, why? Like, Why? Because I know myself to be someone very hardworking, like I'm determined. I'm not someone who would start something and leave it halfway. But why? Why do I always get this far and then I don't finish it? But I didn't know that God was preparing me for a better offer. Guess what? I got to come to school in America through a sponsorship, and it's 100%. Like, I was sponsored, my housing was taken care of, I was receiving stipend and all of that. And I just looked back and I said, maybe God was delaying me not getting the schools that I applied for, not finishing the applications, because he was arranging something better for me, somebody who was going to sponsor me and take care of my school and take care of my feeding and my housing and all of that. And I'm so grateful for that. So all this, including Amara's story, has changed the way I view delay. We live in a world that praises speed so much, but growth, real growth, it often happens in the slow, silent season. It happens in the heartbreak, happens in the disappointment, in the delays, in the waiting room, in the prayer room. So don't feel so sad because things are not going your way or because you're not getting stuff right now. God is just preparing something big for you. I assure you that your story is still being written, and just like Amara, your no might just be a setup for something greater. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Uplifting. If this story touched you, please share it to other people so that they can be encouraged and uplifted. And remember, your story matters, your voice is needed, and no matter how dark it feels right now, light is definitely coming your way. Until next time, I am Tina, your favorite host. Bye bye.